Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is Dan the Fireman. You can call me Daniel. That's cool, too. I'm out here in the desert on my Harley Scrambler with my drone. That's what this giant turtle shell backpack looks like. And if you guys seen any of my videos, I have a Saturday Scrambler. It's a weekly series where I'm out in the desert on this thing. I have my drone up in the air. I have it following me. I have a lot of fun. Go ahead and click the card up in the top right section. I don't know exactly where it is on here. Everything's backwards. But if not, I have a link in the description of the playlist and my last Saturday Scrambler and some of my favorite ones. But anyways, I'm out here in the desert, and I wanted to talk to you guys about how to fly a drone, specifically a DJI Phantom. They have the new Mavic, they have the P4, the Phantom 4, but I have the Phantom 3 Standard Edition. It's just the Standard. But if you guys want to know where I got this and how I got this and exactly where I got this, I do have a link in the description of everything that's in here. Anyways, what's in here is a hard shell backpack. It's just a hard plastic, a hard foam substance that is just going to keep everything nice and secure. I have over here the actual Phantom, the Phantom 3. I do have a gimbal lock device on there. It does come with one, but I decided to buy one anyways separately. Leave that there. And then what it also comes with is obviously the controller. It does come with just one battery. I have a second battery. My girlfriend bought me one, so thank you very much. I guess this video is sponsored by my girlfriend. I do have a second battery. It does come with propellers. Now, the set that I got, it came with 2 sets of propellers. I only have 1 set with me right now, because if I do crash it, I am not going to fly it up in the air until checking it. And what I have in here is some polarizing lenses, and that's separate. That's something completely different. But what I kind of want to talk to you today is just how to fly this thing, get it up in the air, and have some fun with it. And what I like to do when I'm out in the desert, because hopefully you guys are flying this where it's sparsely populated. You don't want to be flying this around people and buildings, really. I'm out here in the desert, so this is perfectly safe and perfectly capable area for this drone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and close this up. And what I like to do is I don't like to take off straight off the ground, especially if there's dirt. I like to use this as a launching pad and kind of set it up that way. I want everything to be safe. I want to be safe while riding. I want my bike to be safe, and I want my drone to be safe. So first I check and make sure everything, is good. It's not super windy. There's no obstructions that this drone can fly into. Make sure my bike is perfectly capable, and make sure I'm in the right mind to actually ride. So I just wanted to preface all this with that. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and start the app. It's the Litchi app. Fly Litchi, and it's an app that I'm not being paid for. This is not sponsored by Litchi, but it does allow the Phantom 3 Standard have some smart features that does not come with the regular DJI Go app. So it does have the smart feature of follow me, track you, orbit, a bunch of other cool things that you can do with the Litchi app itself, and I use it and I bought it specifically for this drone to follow me on the motorcycle. I'm not going to go through everything that involves, the setting up and how to fly the drone. This is something that you should know how to do. This is something that you should have done a while ago. You should fly the drone, practice with it, understand the controls, because if something does happen to where it does stop following you, you need to know how to land it yourself. You need to understand the actual everything first. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on the drone. All right, so I have the drone connected, and I am recording this. I am recording the screen right here, so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. I'm going to switch it over to the filming, and it's on the right side. So anyways, what you want to do, like I said, safety is very big, is that you want to make sure there's no wind, because if you do take off near the bike, you do take off near a tree, you don't want the wind be hitting hard here, because it will take off and the wind will hit it over there. So what you want to do with every time you fly, obviously, is calibrate your compass. Now this is something you do every single time.
Hold the aircraft vertically with the nose pointed towards the ground and rotate the aircraft 360 degrees. Compass successfully calibrated.
And before I take off, I like to make sure I have enough satellites, my batteries are good, it's in FPV mode, I have all these things set up, these sticks move and everything. Obviously you can tell the satellites are up there on the top left. So what I like to do is, and this is the Litchi app, this isn't the DJI Go app, is I'll just go ahead and lift off, and it's going to ask me if I want to take off. So yes, it's going to hover, but just in case it wants to go towards the bike, I have access to the controls and I can push it away from the bike. So right now it's hovering. I'm going to have it hover just a little bit so that if it does drift while I'm talking, it does not hit me in the head. Once I have it hovering, I like to go ahead and kind of just see all the controls, make sure everything works, just real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and hit record. Not a lot of wind, I'm not feeling any craziness. Let's go ahead and switch over to the DJI Phantom camera. And what I'm gonna do is start doing all the smart features. I'm gonna go ahead and do all the smart features, and I'll do the follow me settings. Now this is where it's very important, guys. This is very important. Right now I still have stick control. I still have stick control of the drone. I'm turning it around. I still have stick control, but this is very important. This is what I've learned, is altitude, distance, and all these other things, heading and mobile device elevation. That's a huge thing. So right now, to be safe, we will set the elevation to about 80 feet. Distance, I think distance, we can do 140. And this is where you need to know the limitations of your drone too. Heading mode is north, because as of right now, see the heading right here is the degrees. Now this is very important, is that you can change the way your camera, this is where you can start having your camera. So the drone will be facing west. So if I start taking off and I start doing anything, you obviously want to make sure there's no obstacles in the way, but you have to also know that maybe that's the way you want your video to look. So as of right now, this right here says that it's going to be east of me looking west. Gimbal control auto, that'll allow the drone to, auto focus on me. My height, I'm closer to 5 foot than 6'6". Now, mobile device elevation, this is huge. Power on elevation is it powered on here, and let's say this is 10 feet, elevation from sea level. It will stay at the elevation that it took off on right here, which can be problematic, okay? Because I have crashed this drone because of that. So I was going up the elevation, it stayed on at the power elevation. So what happened was that it just kind of, this is me, this is the drone, it kind of just did this. And it hit the ground just because it was off on the power elevation. So what I like to do is I have it set at mobile device elevation. So when I'm going up and down, this is the mobile device. This controller is the mobile device. When I go up and down, it stays with me up and down. RC joysticks disabled, because if you are riding around, you don't want to be hitting these joysticks and messing up the camera or messing up the quadcopter. So I disable that. Horizontal movement's enabled because it will fly horizontally to capture me. So let's go back to follow me. There's the settings right there. So once you have all the things you want, you click follow me, and it's going to initialize, and you have to make sure that your drone isn't, there's no trees or anything like that to where it's going to do that, because it's going to initialize. There it goes. So now it is completely west of me that way, and it is over there. So I'm gonna go ahead and move that settings. Now this is another thing. This is what I'm talking about right here. This is what I like to do. Is I have a tank bag. You need a tank bag. I'll move my phone, which is the actual thing. I'll move it over here so I have good view and good visibility, and I'll move my controller into my tank bag, and that will allow me to grab control if I have to. But other than that, that's how you get going, and then you get started and you go ahead and start taking off. Now the thing you want to do is, this is very important, guys, is that you want to pay attention to your battery. You don't want these batteries to get below 30, even 20%. So right now we are at 70%. So I really can't be flying very far. I don't have a lot of time. I do have to drop this down and, get it safely home. The battery life really does depend on the wind and, just the battery health itself. We need to get going, and this is kind of like what you have to do when you're actually flying these things while riding, is you have to hurry up. But like I said, the three things, right? Safety of me, safety of the bike, and safety of the drone. So that is my concern, and that is my only concern. Let's go ahead and lock everything up. All the fun and all the magic happens in post-production when you're editing, not when you're flying right now. So right here, you want to stay focused on your riding. Now, when I take off, you have to be very slow. Slow to stop, slow to take off, or slow to stop, slow to accelerate, only because your drone has to keep up. It has to recognize what's going on. So right now, it's auto-calibrating because it's supposed to stay east of me, heading west. And right now, the horizontal movement is allowing it to record me. So I got to get over this real quick. And guys, remember, the safety of you as the rider comes first. Your drone and your bike can be replaced, But if you're acting like an idiot trying to get some really cool shots and you break your leg out here, you can be in deep shit right now. So when I'm riding, I like to go a little bit slow. It doesn't look amazing, but once you add some music, once you add some cuts to it, it doesn't look too bad. So if you guys want to see what this looks like with some music and some cuts and how I made this look a little bit better, I do have the video in the description and a card up here in the top right of your screen, and my Saturday Scrambler that I created of this down there. So sometimes when I am riding, I'll ride for a little bit, and this is the part where the moto vlogging, the motorcycle video part comes into play, is that I'll be riding for a little bit so I know I can get a good shot. So I can, you know, I got right now it east of me heading west, and I got this really cool side profile. Oh, we gotta pay attention here. Don't want the controller flying out. So I got this really cool side profile shot, and I've got about 2 minutes of it. So what I'm gonna do is make sure no one's behind me, so I'm not taking up anyone's, you know, lane, is that I'm gonna change the settings. I want it to head north, so it's like behind me. Let's do it with a little bit of an angle. And let's drop the elevation to 65. So I'm gonna let it go ahead and get its positioning right. And when I do that, when I edit what I just did out, it looks like the drone is kind of orbiting me and there's like someone on the sticks, you know? But it's really just me, and that's what this whole video is about, is how to do this by yourself. And there's just quite a bit that goes with it. There's quite a bit that goes with having to do all this stuff by yourself while riding. So really, since you have so much to multitask, you don't go crazy on anything. You don't go crazy on the drone flying. You don't go crazy on the riding. You just take everything easy, and you go crazy with the editing, all right? I'm doing this because a lot of people ask me how I do these videos. And I'm triple checking, making sure the drone is doing good. All right, so here's a part where I'm going down in elevation. This is where the mobile device elevation is very important, because it will follow the mobile device elevation. So after I climb here, remember, my safety is me first. I will double check the drone, make sure it's still following, make sure it's still doing its thing. Okay, so now that I switched directions, and this is what's really cool about it heading, is that I was going north. I was heading north, and the drone was behind me. Well, the drone didn't switch. It's still heading north. The camera is still heading north, but I am now heading northeast. So the camera itself and the drone itself is still in position, and it looks like somebody, you know, took control of the sticks and is doing something. But what I want to do, since I can see that there's no obstructions right here, and I'm keeping an eye on the battery, so slow to decelerate, slow to decelerate. Because it's going to have to check and do all its stuff. What I like to do, I like to live a little bit dangerously. Because I brought it in just a little bit closer. Double check and make sure it's still there. So I want it south, heading north towards the east. All right, so I'm gonna let it kind of get its bearings. So in about 10%, now it's 40%, in 10%, I'm gonna have to start taking it down. So you really don't get a lot of filming time, you really don't. So when I only do like a 2-minute video at most on this, it's because I really don't have a lot of, you know, I didn't cover a lot of ground, I really didn't. And I don't have a lot of footage, or usable footage anyways. So I'm triple checking, making sure, and I don't wanna go over the max speed limit. Now the max speed limit for the Phantom 3 is about 20 to 30 miles an hour. So right now I'm going 25, and this is probably as fast as I ever go. I don't go any faster because then you outrun your device, and it's just, like I said, slow to accelerate, slow to decelerate, but you also really kind of just want to go slow. See, right now I'm just enjoying the ride. I'm gonna let the drone do its thing. Every so often I'll look down to double check, and it looks great. It's performing well. Like I said, safety first. I check in my blind spots. And I think I'm going to go ahead and bring it down real soon. It's at 32%. But I'm going to get past all of this so you guys can see how it kind of tracks and it does its thing. making sure the controller is still in my tank bag, because that would kind of suck, wouldn't it? All right. I have a setting to where it will give me an alarm at 30%. So now I know it's at 30%. And I obviously set it up to where it's really loud. I have my media settings up high, so when I am riding, I do hear it. All right, so let's find a safe spot to land the drone. Kind of want to hurry up because these batteries do drain really fast. And that's another thing you have to watch out for, is I heard a different kind of beeping. And it wanted to go home. So right now it's coming back to me. It was being dumb. So that's something you have to double check yourself just in case, because I have it set to where it goes home, and that's a standard for when I'm flying it manually, not for when I have it following me. So that's something I didn't even check and make sure it wasn't going to do. Real quick, I'm going to switch these all back up. This is the part where you need to know how to fly, because I do have a mountain right here. It's at 20%. That's as low as I want it to go. And what you want to do before you shut it off is turn off record. Because if you shut it off, it's going to corrupt your file. But that's how you do it, guys. That is exactly how you do it. I'm out in the mountains right here having some fun, making sure this doesn't fall. I'm going to continue on my Saturday Scrambler, because this is actually part of my Saturday Scrambler. I'm going to continue on and keep filming. So if you guys like this kind of stuff, I know this is a long video, but if you like this kind of stuff, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe, comment below. Any comments that you need, any criticisms that you want to give me, that'd be perfect. I would love it. And I'll see you guys later, right? Okay, you ride safe, guys.